talking about Belgium versus Russia. They're playing at St. Petersburg on Saturday. Hugh, I'm going to come to you first on this one. With Belgium, what are your first thoughts and feelings as they go into this competition? Because we know they've got a fantastic squad. We know they're number one in the world rankings, but are they truly the best team in the world?
Maybe not. I think Jules will argue that it's France for sure, the world champions, of course. And I think, look, Belgium have been building, haven't they? They were World Cup quarterfinalists in 2014. They came third at the World Cup in 2018, quarterfinals of the Euros in 2016. A lot of people in Belgium, of course, calling this their golden generation, the likes of Lukaku, De Bruyne, Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Courtois, of course. But is this the end of the road? Maybe next year at the World Cup, their last chance to win it with this group of players. I think that's for sure. They have always seemed to fall short for some reason. And I think this time around, I like the change in system. They've got three at the back, but it's those three central defenders that are the biggest worry for me when it comes to Belgium. Midfielders are brilliant, the likes of Yuri Tielemans. They've got Hazard going forward, of course, as well. But Jason Denayer, Toby Alderweireld, and Jan Vertonghen, maybe getting on a little bit, two of them in particular. The three at the back might help them because there's extra support, of course, but I think the mobility and the speed's going a little bit, and that might be where you can get at Belgium. But in many ways, I'm clutching at straws. They're a sensational team at times. If Kevin De Bruyne, who I think will miss this match against Russia, can come back and play a big part in this tournament, he will be key. He could well be one of the players of the competition. But I still don't think they will win it. I think they'll have too much for Russia, but I think there are better sides in this competition. Jules, I don't know about you. What do you think?
No, I agree with you. Defensively, there's a few question marks. You're right. Even for the wing backs, the ones that they have that are proper wing backs like Meunier or Castagne struggle a bit defensively at times. And then the ones who are playing wing backs who are not wing backs like Torgan Hazard or even Yannick Ferreira Carrasco are not really wing backs, so they can't defend either. So I think defensively, you're right. Then they might score more goals than the opposition because they've got so much going forward. And Lukaku is having another incredible season. And I said the other day after the game they won against Croatia, he makes crumbs into a feast. Lukaku, he just needs like a quarter of a chance and he will score a goal. That's what he's done now with Roberto Martinez and Conte. So I think they will be up there, not far from it. But I agree with you. I'm not sure if they can go all the way. And I think psychologically, those failures from the past, like you said, the defeats against Wales, especially 5 years ago, I think it's hard maybe to overcome. And same with the semi-final defeat against France in 2018. I wonder how psychologically they would approach those games if they get back there.
Yeah. Julian, I would ask you about Belgium in terms of that psychological state. When there is that kind of excitement for your nation to be favourites for a tournament, to have that kind of wealth of talent, I think we saw that a long time ago with France in 98. There was a feeling that could, come on now. I've seen documentaries with yourself talking where you're going, the country kind of needed this. Belgium, of course, is a smaller country, but I think with so many great players over such a long period of time, do you think that's at this period of the evolution of this squad, when you've got a lot of older players, as we've discussed, or players in their prime, that's, for me, I feel like that's going to do two things. It's either going to make them crumble or it's actually going to harden them in a good way. How do you see that working out in terms of the psychology of this team? And of course, you've got players like De Bruyne, who's probably not going to play in this game due to the injuries that he took in the Champions League final. Hazard's had a difficult season. Yeah. There's a real concoction there. Psychologically, do you think that's a kind of scary proposition for this Belgian squad?
Yeah, I think you're right. And I wonder if that pressure of, okay, this is a golden generation. They will win something. They have to win something. When are they going to win something? All those questions that they've had through in the process of this generation from start to now. I wonder how much that's weighted on their shoulders, really, and how much that maybe has been the issue, actually, because otherwise, okay, Marc Wilmots was not a very good manager, and maybe that was a problem 2016 and before. But Martinez is a much better coach. They're all more experienced now. They're all arriving either at the peak or not far from it, or maybe just past it. So I think it's all down to this pressure. And we've seen with France, but maybe more with Spain. Once it clicks, though, once they win something, then usually then it continues, and you've gone into that barrier of psychologically always failing into the last hurdles.
I completely understand what you're saying, Jules. I don't think the squad has enough at Belgium to overcome that hurdle that you're talking about, as much as there are some brilliant players in that squad. Although I think Lukaku could well win the Golden Boot. He's in the form of his life. And you never know, he could take Belgium all the way in this one, depending on how they fall in the knockout stages. But for this first game in St. Petersburg, look, Russia, 3 wins in 11 games. I don't think there's going to be much competition for Belgium. What do you think the score will be, Jules?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Belgium will win this one, even without De Bruyne, even without Eden Hazard 100%. I don't think he will start that game either. I think they will win it 3-1. I think they will concede because, as we said, defensively, we've got our reservation, but they will score because that's what they're really good at, especially with Lukaku. So Lukaku to score and Belgium to win 3-1.
Yeah, I completely agree with Jules on this one. I think it will be a Belgium win, and I actually think they'll have a great time during the group. I think they'll score a lot of goals. I think that's why I agree with you both. I think Lukaku wins the Golden Boot because I think you win it in the group stage a lot of the time. For me, it's that I don't think they'll find themselves getting to a semi-final against France most likely, and I think that's where we're really going to find out if they can get over these hurdles. Because unlike other countries like England, I think they haven't got as many hurdles to get over, but it's a really, really big one that sadly they're going to have to get over.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube, and for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app, and for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.